You know, with the announcement of Disney's partners, Marvel Studios, which they do own, but Marvel Studios on their own, with the announcement of the new Phase 3 lineup, I kind of thought to myself that throughout all this, Disney's got some movies of their own that's coming as well, and it's not under the Marvel name. Well, Big Hero 6 is a collaboration between Disney and Marvel, but mostly it's Disney. You can pretty much tell that. But then I thought about all the other projects at Disney and Disney and Pixar in general, and Disney and Maudeville Films or something like that all have coming. And I know we have a new princess being introduced, Mona something. She's the first Polynesian princess, so that's something to, I guess, if you're of Polynesian descent, that's something to get excited about. I know that there is talk, hopefully, of getting a Latina princess, even though some might say Sophia is the first one, but we're talking real official princess in the basically in the same veins of a Jasmine, an Elsa, Anna, Belle, Ariel, Aurora, Cinderella kind of deal. So we know that there's talk of that finally happening after the Polynesian one. We know there's a King of the Elves movie adaptation coming from Disney, I think along from Disney. I know we're getting Inside Out from Disney and Pixar. So we have all these movies coming, but we also have a movie that I think a lot of us have been waiting for a long time that's in the works. Was in production, pre-production, but basically is in the works. It's been greenlighted and is in pre-production, if not in production, basically in the works overall. And that's Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. And I know we haven't heard much about it so far, but you think with San Diego Comic Con or New York Comic Con, we would have heard something, but not yet. Which kind of tells you that yes, things are still going strong. It's been greenlighted. It's in its pre-production stage, but that's about it. That's all we know. Now, I've basically come out on camera like I'm doing now, and I have said basically that I believe that the movie has to go to the origins. It has to. It has to tell the story of how the team got together, and I think, in all honesty, it has to follow an origin very close, if not similar, to the rescue pilot, to the rescue, to the original, to the rescue pilot. It has to follow that origin to a T, if not similar in some ways. Kind of adapt some things from there, so that we know, hey, this is the Rescue Rangers from the Disney afternoon. This is Chip 'n Dale. This is Gadget. This is Monterey Jack. This is Zipper. And kind of give us an idea that this is the similar, if a very similar origin story of how they met to the original. And I think that would really work out in their favor. I really do. Um, I definitely see some things too happening here. Um, I do see a possibility that we might finally get a romance going in the team. I mean, one thing that some people can say is a positive and sometimes is a negative is sometimes you have to alter things around. You got to change things to make things more interesting, especially with the new generation that you're introducing that product, those characters to. So, to me, I think that you finally got to put Gadget with somebody. You got to either put it with Chip or you got to put it with Dale. And I think if they're going to go by the original origin story, and if probably not the original first few episodes, I think honestly we might get maybe something close to Dale and Gadget. Not saying anything's confirmed or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, because to me that is basically that would basically be a fitting match, a perfect match there when you think about it. an odd couple, kind of like a perfect, well, not odd couple, but more like a very unusual match, uh, shipping match to put together. But I truly think you're going to get some of a Dale and Gadget romance in the movie somehow. And what I mean is, I think what we're going to get is they're going to end up getting along probably better as buddies than what you would see getting along with Monterey on. Because in the series, besides Chip, Dale would be buddy, get along good with Monterey Jack, and there were times he did the same with Gadget. But mostly he was hanging out with Monterey Jack because he probably looked up to Monterey as a mentor. As him wanting to be like Monterey in some ways. But I, I, I look I look at the Gadget Dale dynamic, and I think to myself, I almost sense similarities to the 1990 Ninja Turtle movie. You know, Donatello was always the brainiac, still was, but he got along good with Michelangelo. He was Michelangelo, the fun-loving guy, and in the first movie, he just got along with him. He really, I mean, he was brainy and all that, but he was more like let loose, kind of like okay, let's go, let's party, let's have fun, kind of deal. And when I look at Gadget and Dale, I think we might have something similar in that aspects that they could build on in the movie towards an eventual romance. I mean, when you take a look at the earlier episodes, like I was just watching some episodes off my DVD set, which I recorded. It's actually a recordable DVD set that I had done basically 11, 10 years ago. And I was watching the episodes, and I watched the episode, I think it was the Sherlock Jones episode. I think that's what it was. I can't really remember the think of the name right now. I think it was the Hound of the Baskervilles or something like that, or Pound of the Baskervilles. That's what it was. And I remember watching, and I was watching it, and when we get to a scene where they're behind the catacombs, they've entered behind this a secret door behind a mirror, and when Chip decides to go back into full-on Sherlock Jones mode and calls himself Sherlock Chip, you they basically cut from that right to Dale and Gadget, and you see Dale just groaning out of like, oh, not like, oh no, kind of deal, kind of like that, oh no, kind of groan, and Gadget at the same time is going like, not again, and it's like, and when I see something like that, and then I also think I see a Creep in the Deep, and how you kind of had an interaction between the two there, like playing off each other, like, Gadget's like, uh, our fish, really count as animals in trouble kind of deal. And Dale's like, yeah, sounds like old fishy to me. And I just think if I'm the writer and the creative team behind this movie, that I definitely would help let those two play off each other and sort of be in that kind of buddy buddy dynamic to where they can feel free amongst around each other. They can be themselves with each other, and then, like I said, sort of kind of be similar to what Donatello and Michelangelo were like in the 1990 Ninja Turtle movie. But in this case, slowly build that buddy buddy dynamic to where you can possibly get a romance out of it between Dale and Gadget. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's just what I think could happen. It's a possibility. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, if they do go in a romance direction, they might just put Gadget with Chip because that's what fans would like to see. But I look at it this way. I look at it this way. If this movie is a success when it comes out, and I believe it will be, and we get a sequel, if not an animated series following it, if we get a sequel to it, or even, like I said, an animated series following it, you can slowly start to build the relationships through that. And that with a sequel, you could start bringing in all these other characters, these fan favorites, to build upon that. You know, with a sequel, you could probably, bring in Tammy or Foxglove and build upon that, and see where you go from there. Or you can do it with a new animated series. I mean, look what Boom Studios did. Um, with Rescue Rangers right off the bat. I mean, they basically essentially said, hey, Dale and Foxglove are basically an on and off item. And that basically left the door open for Chip to be with Gadget or maybe Chip to be with Tammy. So it was a door left open. And I honestly think that this movie, this first movie, can help plant the seeds for that. And if not do it through, if not actually accomplish it in the movie. So I think this is just one of those things that could happen. I'll be honest. I've always been a fan of Dale and Gadget as a pairing. I'm not going to lie about that. I mean, I do like Dale and Foxglove as a pair. I'm not going to lie about that either. But I look at Dale and I just look at Dale and Gadget as being the strong possibility should a romance get created during the film. Be created during the film. Like I said, kind of play them off, let them be buddy buddy, let them hang out, let them be themselves around each other during this first case that they have as a team. As they're slowly becoming a team as well, and then kind of maybe let that build to a possible romance. Not saying that's going to happen, because there could be all sorts of possibilities. But I think if you're recreating, or not recreating, but if you're introducing these characters, this concept, this brand, this franchise to a whole new generation of kids, of kids and teens, as well as the older generation like myself, reintroducing them, then you got to do it in a sense that's going to really get people talking, going to really want to make them go and see the film if they haven't seen it already, or even get the film when it comes on DVD, Blu-ray, and digital HD. And I truly think that this could be that. I truly believe that could be the opportunity they need. I'm not saying again that it's going to happen. Let me make that perfectly clear. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just think it's a possibility, a direction that they could go in for the movie. Honestly, I think they can go in that direction. But with Disney, you never know anymore. But I think if there's one thing we have learned, is that sometimes a movie doesn't really need to have romance in it. It just needs to focus on what the main plot is. I mean, you take a look at Brave. You didn't really have much romance in there. You just had the connection between the mother and the daughter, and the daughter's determination to get the mother back to normal, and the lessons they both learn. Frozen, it had romance in it, but that was kind of like secondary to the relationship between Anna and Elsa. So you don't really need to have romance in the film to make it good. I'm just, saying that there's a possibility that we could probably get it in the Rescue Ranger movie, but don't hold me to it. But again, this is just a possibility, a direction I believe and think they might go in. So let me know what you think down below. Do you think they might go in that direction, or do you think they'll just leave it be and let the origin story play out the way it should play out, and have it be similar, if not identical, in some ways to the original origin? Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I will talk to you all later.